Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Comic Book Nostalgia. I'm CB Nostalgia and we have a little update on Suicide Squad. Well, as many of you guys know, the original Suicide Squad movie, not the most recent James Gunn entry but the David Ayer movie, went through some major changes after it was actually finished. And based on some recent conversations with the director, it appears it wouldn't really take a lot for us fans to see it. Now, you don't have to go back too far when David Ayer said he would no longer publicly speak about his version of the 2016 movie. The movie did really great at the box office, but it was pretty much a critical flop. But kind of as an extension of the Zack Snyder release the Snyder Cut movement, we started getting many fans clamoring for the release the Ayer Cut, which apparently is quite different than what we saw in theaters. Now, in case you didn't know, after Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice underperformed both financially and critically, Warner Bros. Panicked and made a bunch of changes to David Ayer's version of the Suicide Squad. Most of this was a lightening of the tone, but it pretty much resulted in a mess of a movie. Now, recently, the director took to Twitter and gave us some very interesting details that have given me some hope we could actually eventually see this film. Now, obviously, everything about movies is making money. And one fan asked David Ayer what it would take in the form of additional scenes to get the movie complete and ready for us to see. His response was super interesting. He actually said, "No need for reshoots, just some VFX work." Gathering people and shooting reshoots is amazingly expensive, and what this tells me is it would take very, very little money for Warner Brothers actually to repackage this and get this in front of fans. As a matter of fact, we knew there was some test screenings in the past, so the possibility of this happening seems more and more probable. Now, there were two other tweets that I thought were interesting. One person asked him how different his version of the movie was versus the one we saw in the theaters, which he responded shockingly different. Apples and oranges. And then another fan asked him if he took any input from Zack Snyder to make it align with the rest of the universe, and he replied with a simple yes. I'm going to be straight with you guys. I would love to see David Ayer's version of this movie. I'm personally a pretty big fan of the guy. He's a class act, and I generally enjoy his interactions on social media. He talks to fans all the time, and that really makes me want him to be successful. With that said, I think Warner Bros. And HBO might have a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth after finishing Zack Snyder's version of the movie. The movie itself was significantly better than the Joss Whedon version we got in the theaters. There's no debating that. And its 4-hour runtime made it kind of special. But the post-response to that event was pretty negative, involving many fans demanding more and even review bombing Warner Bros. Projects. If we don't get this, it's likely a consequence of that, but we'll have to wait and see. I think ultimately the deal is going to be, how much money does this cost to get this movie in front of fans? And if they can get a lot of free social media hype and some more subscribers to their streaming service for very little cost, we might actually get to see this. Obviously, if we get any more news about David Ayer's Suicide Squad, we're going to bring it to you right away. But I am kind of curious on what you guys think of this project. Would you be interested in seeing Ayer's version of his Suicide Squad project? And do you think Warner Bros. And HBO can be convinced once again to spend some money on one of these fan-driven desires that quite honestly didn't work out as good for them as they'd hoped last time? Personally, I think it's totally going to be based on how much it costs. And I don't think it'll cost $70 million like Justice League. But until we know more, tell me what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, make sure you hit like, click subscribe, and if you don't ring that bell, you're not going to get any updates. Peace.